Hi friends, welcome to Azure Content. This is part 10 in Azure Data Factory playlist. In this video, we are going to witness the magic of wildcard filters in copy data activity of Azure Data Factory pipelines. So let me go ahead in the presentation. So in Azure Data Factory, whenever we are trying to copy data from some file data store, which means data stores like blob storage or ADLS Gen 2 or Amazon S3 bucket or SFTP. So these kinds of data stores are called file data stores. We have already talked about it in our previous videos. So I would recommend you to go through the previous videos before landing on this video. So when we have the requirement to copy from such file data stores to any sink, irrespective of what the sink is, we have an option in the source setting to define wildcard filters. Okay. So what this filter will do is, it will let us copy only specific files that we want to copy. So we have the option to pick files based on the naming pattern that we have to define. So here in the image, you can see in their official documentation, in Microsoft's official documentation, they have given a beautiful chart which represents how to use these wildcard filters in folder level as well as in file level. Okay, so let me clear all this. So you can see we can define the filters in folder level as well as in file level, and we can use different combination of recursive option, and it has also given the expected results when we use these different combinations. Okay, so the official documentation link will be shared in the description of the video. I have already opened it, so you can see this is the documentation. You can go through it, but for simplicity I have copied it in the presentation itself to give it a better format. So to demonstrate this, I have created the replica of same folder structure that we can see here. So this is what I have created in my ADLS. So you can see in this ABC container, we have two folders, that is folder A and another folder B. Okay, so this is the name of folder B. So you can see why I have created this kind of folder is, you can see here in the example that they have given, we have to create one folder A which contains two files, file1.csv and file2.json. Okay, so inside folder A I have two files, file1.csv and file2.json. Okay, so let me not go into the content of these files, but just see the folder structure. And we also have subfolder 1 inside this folder A itself. So you can see we have subfolder 1, this one, and inside this subfolder 1 we have three files. Okay, file3.csv, and we have one JSON file and then another CSV file. Okay, so if I open this, this is what we have, the same thing that is shown in this presentation. Okay, and if I close this folder, we have the next folder which is known as another folder B. Okay, so it's not simply folder B, it is named as another folder B. So there's a reason behind it, so don't worry about it. So if I go inside this folder, so you can see we are expecting one file called file6.csv. So we have this file. So now we will use different combination of options in wildcard file path in copy activity, and we will see if we are getting these expected results or not. Okay, so let me clear this. And let me go to ADF pipeline and let me start creating the pipeline. Okay, so here I will drag and drop this copy data activity, and in the source we will create a dataset that will point to this ABC container. Okay, so the dataset can be of any format. So let me select Gen 2 first, and inside Gen 2 we have 8 file formats. Okay, so since this container has or any of the folders has mixture of different file formats, so we can select any one of them. It's not necessary that I will be selecting CSV just to copy CSV. We can select any of the formats because we are dealing with wildcard in the video. Okay, so let me go with binary option. You can select any one of them, and let me select the existing link service, and in the file path let me navigate to ABC container. I'm not going to select any of the folders or any of the file. Okay, I'm just selecting this ABC container and let me click on OK. So our dataset is ready. So this dataset is pointing to a file data store. So that's why we have this option called wildcard file path. Okay, so the dataset name is binary 4. So if I select any other data store, suppose SQL data SQL dataset, then you can see that option itself is not present. Okay, but if I select binary, or if I select delimited text, so you can see this wildcard file path option. So that means we can only use wildcard file path when the source is file data store. Okay, so let me reselect this binary 4. And as we discussed, we are not going to use file path in dataset. We have to select this wildcard file path. So now we have to fill the details here. So since our dataset is pointing to ABC container, so it is coming ABC container by default here. We don't have to select the container, but we need to provide some pattern to this folder path and file path. Okay, so let me go to the presentation again. So the first combination is folder, then star. Okay, and file name should be empty. So let me give folder, then star. And I'm not going to give anything in file name. And other thing is recursive should be false. Okay, so by default this recursive option is true. So let me uncheck this box. And if we try to copy this combination to some other folder, so let me create a new sync dataset pointing to ADLS Gen 2, and we will create a new container. So you can see I'm going to select binary option itself. It's not mandatory to select only binary, you can select any one of them. And in the file system, I'm going to create a new container in my ADLS account. So let's give it a name as ABC container output. Okay, so ABC output container, ABC output container I'm going to give it. And I'm going to leave the folder name and file name as blank. So this is the first combination in this chart. Okay, so what we are expecting now is it will copy only 2 files. Whatever you are seeing in bold is what the expected result is. So out of all these files, we are expecting only 2 files, that is file1.csv and file2.json. So first let me run the pipeline and we will see that this expected output is coming or not. Then we will go into the explanation why only these 2 files are coming as the output. Okay, so let me debug this pipeline. So till now we do not have any container called ABC output container. Okay, so let's wait for this execution to be completed. Then we will see the container is generated and 2 files got copied or not. Okay, yeah, so the copy activity has been completed successfully. And now let me refresh this Gen 2. So now you can see we have got this output container, that is ABC output container. Okay, so this is the name we have given in the sync dataset. So if I open this, so you can see only one folder got copied, that is folder A, and inside this folder if we go, you can see file1.csv and file2.json is coming as the output, and this is what was expected output. You can see only folder A, inside this folder A 2 files are the expected output. Apart from this, all are in normal format, but these 2 are in bold letters. Okay, so the result is as expected, but why we got only these 2 files? Let's understand. Let me erase it again. So the first thing is we have given folder path as folder star. Okay, so if I go to ADLS into this source container, so you can see out of these 2 folders, folder A and another folder B, the folder which is matching the pattern here is folder A. If we would have given star, then folder, then star, then it would match both of these folders, because the because folder B also contains the word folder, but before this folder we have a string called another, right? So wherever the folder name starts with folder, but after that, irrespective of suffix, it will copy all the folders starting with the string folder. Okay. So if this folder would have been named as folder B instead of another folder B, then it would have copied a file retained in this folder as well. Okay. But since it is not matching the pattern, that is folder star, so it is not copying the data from this folder. It is only copying data from this folder. Okay. Now the thing is, why it only copied two files, that is file1 and file2, and it did not copy files present in this subfolder. The reason behind this is that we have unselected this recursive option. So what this does is, let me hover on this. So it will process all the files in the input folder and its subfolder recursively, or just the ones in the selected folder. This setting is disabled when a single file is selected. So basically, if we have subfolders inside a folder and if we select this recursive option, then it will copy all the files present in the folder, including the files present in its subfolder as well. So since we have disabled this recursively option, it is only copying files directly present in this folder A, and it is not copying files present in the subfolder within this folder A. Okay. So it is only copying file1.csv and file2.csv, as we can see in the output container. Okay. So we are good here. So we have completed this first case. Now moving to the second one. So now we are going to see this case. Okay. So what happens if we provide recursive option as true? So we will expect all the files coming from this folder to be loaded into the output container, including the files present in this subfolder. Okay. So let me do that. Let me go back, and here in this copy activity, we will select this recursive option as true and other things are fine. We have given the folder path as folder start, which is same as previous case, and we have just given recursive option as true. Okay, so let me delete this, or let's create another folder so that we can compare in the sync. So let me give the name as container B. Okay, so let's debug the pipeline. So let's wait for the pipeline execution to be completed. Then we will see another folder called ABC output container B. Okay, so let's wait. Yeah, so pipeline execution is completed. Let's go to ADLS account and let me hit on refresh. So you can see we have another folder called ABC, another container called ABC output container B. And if I go inside this, so you can see we have folder A again. Let me duplicate this so that we can compare both the outputs. And for this one, let me go to the previous output. And for this, let me go to the latest output. Okay. So you can see in the previous run, we did not get subfolder, only 2 files were copied. But in this run, we got subfolder as well. And inside this subfolder, we have 3 files. Okay. The reason behind this is we have selected this recursively option as true. Apart from this, we have not done any changes. So if you want to copy all the files present in the folder, including the subfolders as well, then you can go ahead with recursively option as true. So we are good with the second case. We have completed this as well. So let's move ahead with the third option. So whenever your requirement is to copy a specific file format, suppose if you want to copy all the CSV files present in this folder, then you need to specify the wildcard file name as star.csv. Okay. So here, the folder name, we will keep it as it is. And in this wildcard file name, let me give it as star.csv. Okay. And in this case, we are going to remove this recursively option and we will set it to false. So if we give this combination, then we are expecting only one file will be copied out of this folder A. Since this pattern will match only folder A, and inside that folder A, we are going to copy star.csv. That means all the files present in the folder A that are having CSV format. But since our recursively option is false, it will copy only files present out of the subfolders. So we will land up in copying only one file, that is file1.csv. Okay, so the combination is fine here. Now just let me go to the sink and let me open this dataset. So let me point to the first container that we had, and let me actually delete both the output containers so that we can recreate it. So it's deleting the containers. So let's wait. Yeah, so both the output containers are deleted. We will recreate the containers using the pipeline. So in this case, without recursive option, we will copy the output to ABC output container. Okay, so let me go to this pipeline again and let me hit on debug. So this time, as we discussed, we are expecting only one file to be copied to the output container. Okay, so let's wait. Yeah, so the pipeline execution is completed. Let me go to ADLS container and let me hit on refresh. So you can see the output container is ready, and if I click on this, you can see folder A is present, and inside folder A only one file is copied. Okay, as we have already expected. So this is because we have selected recursive as false, so that's why all these CSV present inside subfolder are not copied. Okay, so we are only seeing file1, and why this CSV is not present, because we have selected folder star. Okay, so we are good with this third case. So let's move ahead with the fourth case. Here we have to just change this recursively option to true. Then we will see that three files are copied, that is file1.csv, file3.csv, and file5.csv. So this is what we are expecting. Let me go to the pipeline, and here let me select this recursively option, and in the sink let me create another container that we previously had, that is ABC container B. Okay, sorry, this was the source container. So let me go to the sink. Let me open from here. Let me go to sink and open it. So you can see here we have ABC output container. Let me create output container B and let me hit on debug. So currently we do not have output container B. We had deleted it. So let's wait for the execution to be completed. Yeah, so the pipeline execution is completed. Now if I refresh this ADLS Gen2, we are expecting another container. Yeah, so ABC output container B is also created, and inside folder A you can see file1.csv, and inside subfolder 1 we are seeing two other files, that is file3.csv and file5.csv. So if you notice, all the files that are copied is of CSV format, because we have defined star.csv in this wildcard file name. Okay, so this covers the fourth combination as well. Now if you want to copy from another folder B as well, okay, so we have seen all the scenarios from this folder A, because in all the cases we have defined wildcard folder path as folder star. Okay, so that's the reason in none of the runs file6.csv from another folder B got copied. Okay, so if I want to copy this file as well, then what I need to do is, let me delete one of the container. Let me delete both the containers, and here let me close this. So here, instead of giving folder star, I can just give simply star. Okay, if I want to copy only CSV file, then I can leave it as it is. I can either remove it completely or I can give star. Okay, so let me remove it and let me run the pipeline, so that we can see in the output container that all the files from all the folders are copying or not, because we will keep recursively as true. Okay, so the expected output container is, let me give it as ABC output container. So let's debug the pipeline and let's wait for the execution to be completed. Yeah, so the execution is completed. Let's go back to ADLS and let me hit on refresh. Yeah, so the output container is present. So now you can see folder A also got copied, with all the files present inside folder A. And if I go to another folder B, you can see file6.csv is also copied. Okay, so all the files got copied. Let me clear all this. So that combination is not present in this chart, but if you want to copy everything, then you can specify star in this folder path. And if you want to copy only CSV file inside all the folders, then you can mention this star.csv. But since I did not mention it, so it copied JSON file from the folder A as well. Okay. So I hope you got a bit of understanding about wildcard file path and how to use this patterns. And also you must have got idea about recursively option. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like the content. Please hit on like button and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Thank you.